Please make your breathing deep and gentle. From now on, you will enter a quiet, special space guarded by a 14-year-old girl, Kotone. The season is late autumn, late November. It is an old Japanese castle town where the morning and evening chills are becoming severe and true winter is approaching. Kotone's family runs a Gofukuya kimono shop, passed down through generations. This house has a Kura storehouse, where kimono and obi, that have been carefully inherited for hundreds of years, are sleeping. You are now standing in front of that Kura, alongside Kotone. The Kura door is made of thick wood, and its surface emits a faint scent of earth and a deeply mellow smell of wood, revealing its long history. Kotone reached out her hand to the lock, called the Kanzuki bar lock, on the door. The sound is gotchery. The sound of the metal lock moving, heavy and slow, echoes across the quiet backyard. As the door opens, an air that is dry, warm, and uniquely scented greets you, an air different from the cold, transparent air outside. The source of that scent is called shono camphor. It is a scent used as a moth repellent, slightly pungent, yet somehow nostalgic and clean. Imagine this scent of camphor protecting you from the humidity and distractions of the outside world. Inside the Kura, hardly any light enters, and the entire space is enveloped in a faint, soft twilight. Slowly close your eyes until your vision adjusts to this dimness. What you hear is a complete silence, cut off from external sounds. Feel this silence seep deep into your ears, deep into your head. Kotone stood in front of several storage chests called Kiri-Tansu, paulownia wood chests, inside the Kura. In this Kura, many kimono from my grandmother's grandmother, from a very, very long time ago, are sleeping. They need to be exposed to the air before winter arrives. Kotone gently placed her hand on one of the oldest chests. The drawers have small, black iron handles. Kotone slowly and with effort pulled the drawer open. A low, dragging sound of old wood rubbing against wood echoed. This is the sound of tradition, audible only in the silence of the Kura. Inside the drawer, several kimono were neatly folded and stacked. From them, Kotone took out one kimono, a pale wisteria-colored koman, a garment with a small, repeating pattern. As the fabric of the kimono peeled away from the others, a subtle, delicate, and smooth friction sound, unique to silk, shuru-shuru, was faintly heard. Imagine the silk's smoothness and slight coolness touching your fingertips. Kotone slowly began to spread the kimono out onto a white cloth laid in the center of the Kura. The kimono's pattern features autumn flowers like chrysanthemums and hagi. Their vivid colors quietly floated up in the dim Kura. This kimono is over 100 years old, they say. But look, the color and the luster of the silk haven't changed at all, right? That's thanks to the scent of camphor. Kotone gently stroked the underside of the kimono's sleeve. The sound is very small, just the surface of the fabric touching Kotone's palm. It is the most comforting, tactile sound, filled with affection and respect. Kotone meticulously checks the entire kimono, sharpening all her 5 senses to look for moth damage or stains. Close your eyes and focus your awareness on this feel of silk and the scent of camphor. This scent separates your thoughts from outside distractions and invites you to the past and to silence. Kotone detected the faint, lingering scent of ancient incense from the old kimono. It is the quiet memory of the distant woman who once wore this garment. That memory is warm, gentle, and never intrusive. It simply exists there, silently. Having finished spreading out the first kimono to air, Kotone moved to the next chest. This time, the chest is the storage place for the obi, the sash wrapped around the body when wearing a kimono. The obi has more complex weaving and embroidery than the kimono itself, and it is extremely heavy. Kotone slowly pulled out the drawer. The sound was heavier and slightly more creaking than before. Inside the drawer, luxurious maru obi, woven with gold and silver threads, were coiled up like conch shells. Kotone took out the topmost maru obi, which was embroidered with a crane pattern on a black background. The heaviness of the obi transferred solidly to Kotone's hands. Because silk and metal threads are intricately intertwined, it has a dense, hard weight completely different from ordinary cloth. Kotone spread the obi out and gazed as the sparkle of the gold threads on its surface reflected quietly in the Kura's faint light. This obi is truly heavy, isn't it? A craftsman took months to weave this, putting wishes into every single thread. That's why we have to treat it so carefully. Kotone took a thin, soft hake brush into her hand. The bristles of the brush are made to be extremely fine and soft. Kotone gently placed the brush on the surface of the obi and began to delicately sweep away the dust that had settled in the gaps between the threads. Only a very light, small friction sound of the brush's bristles touching the fabric fibers can be heard. This sound, gently, yet surely, sweeps away the tiny anxieties and distractions in your heart. Let's match your awareness to the movement of this brush. From right to left, sat. From top to bottom, sat. sweeping away the dust with a focused heart in a steady rhythm. This scent separates your thoughts from outside distractions and invites you to the past and to silence. Kotone focused particularly on the embroidered parts of the obi. Dust tends to accumulate around the raised sections of the gold and colored threads. Kotone set the brush down, and next began preparing the kimono for mushiboshi airing. The Kura windows are closed, but a thin, straight beam of light is cast onto the Kura floor from a slightly opened, clerestory window. Kotone places the kimono and obi in this ray of light. Strong sunlight is bad. It will damage the silk. The best way is to gently dry them in just a faint light that you can barely see through the fabric. Through the kimono and obi, held up to the light, you can sense the existence of every single silk thread. That collection of threads holds centuries of time and the craftsman's skill. Kotone feels a quiet pride in being the daughter of this kimono shop, and in her role as the inheritor of this beautiful tradition. There is a strength here that defies the flow of time, unlike the fleeting trends and rapidly changing fashions of the city. Kotone adds new camphor crystals, wrapped in small paper, to the kimono and obi she has finished caring for. The camphor lump makes a faint, dry kassa-kassa sound on the paper. And then she puts them back into the drawers again. The sound of the drawer closing slowly and completely echoes. Dish. When the sound completely fades, the Kura returns once again to absolute silence. All the emotions, thoughts, and events of today are wrapped in this silence and sealed away in time. Kotone sat down in front of the old chest and closed her eyes. The cool, clean scent of camphor stimulated the back of her nose. This scent is a guardian fragrance, protecting past memories and quietly nurturing hope for the future. Match your breathing to the depth of this camphor scent. With the inhale, the clear, refreshing coolness fills your chest and cleanses you all the way to the top of your head. With the exhale, the scent carries out any slight cloudiness or fatigue you have inside. Kotone is enveloped in three contrasting sensations: the coolness of the old Kura's earth walls, the softness of the kimono silk, and the scent of camphor. This pleasant fluctuation of sensation guides your consciousness to the boundary between reality and dream. Kotone finished caring for all the kimono and obi, placing them in the paulownia chest with fresh repellent. The sound of the last drawer closing is extremely quiet, yet absolute. As the drawer's metal fittings click into place, the time of motion in the Kura ends, and it returns once again to the time of stillness. Kotone stood up and quietly gazed at the entire space of the Kura. From kimono, hundreds of years old, to those made just recently, she confirms that all the time and all the skill are safely and quietly stored within this dim Kura. Kotone slowly started walking toward the Kura door. Her footsteps on the floor echo with a soft tosu, tosu sound. Finally, before closing the door, Kotone took a deep breath of the clear Kura air. The scent of camphor and the faint fragrance of old silk filled her lungs. This scent transforms within your heart into the unwavering conviction that everything is protected. Kotone slowly began to close the heavy door. A deep, low sound of heavy wood rubbing against wood completely cuts off the sound of the outside world. When the door is fully shut, the decisive sound of sliding the kanzuki bar lock back echoes for the last time. With this final sound, feel that you have been sealed quietly inside the Kura, a safe space. No worries or unresolved thoughts can penetrate this space anymore. Kotone stood still in front of the Kura door silently. Outside is the cold air of late autumn. Yet, Kotone's heart is filled with the warmth of the kimono and the pride of the craftsman. Now, please accept the stillness and the sense of satisfaction in Kotone's heart as your own. All the strength has left your body. Imagine all the heaviness and tension draining away from your fingertips and toes, melting into the floor. You now only possess thoughts as smooth as the silk and as clean as the camphor stored within the Kura. Let us concentrate your consciousness solely on your breathing. The inhaling breath is the Kura's clear air. Deep and long, it fills every corner of your inside. The exhaling breath is old, slightly cloudy air. Slowly and completely, it leaves your body. Inhale. Exhale. Kotone leaned her back against the Kura door and listened to the sound of the wind fading in the distance. The sound of the wind is gentle, a neutral sound that simply passes by. Recognize that all the thoughts in your mind are also just passing by, like this wind. There is no need to stop them, no need to chase them. Kotone whispered quietly. Now we can welcome winter. Everyone, rest well. These words are a gentle lullaby to yourself, as much as they are to the kimono. You no longer have anything to worry about. You are completely protected in this secret silence of the Kimono Kura. Feel your mind and body grow heavier and heavier, sinking into a deep, deep darkness. You will awaken when all the preparations are complete and a new, clean morning arrives. To deep, peaceful sleep. Good night.